Squeeze and get your pussy through.
Hey y'all, this is Blunt the Podcast, and this is our first episode. Yes, I am Brittney.
And this your girl, London Bridges.
What's up? What's up?
What's poppin'?
What's up? We gonna get straight to it. Because I'm stressed out.
Let's talk about it.
I was stressed out. Let me say that.
Yeah, emphasis on the was.
Yes, was.
Emphasis on the was.
Past tense.
Was.
Yes. So this week's episode is I Got The Cooties. You heard it. I got the cooties. This bitch got the cooties.
That bitch.
Yes. So, I don't know even how to tell the story. So pretty much I linked up with a familiar dick.
Yeah, that's what we call exes.
Familiar dick at Go Room here in Atlanta. And instantly we reconnected. I hadn't seen him in like five or so years. And we reconnected. And it's like, when you meet up with somebody that you used to fuck and you guys haven't seen each other in a long time, you kind of get a little excited. You kind of reminisce on the past sexual experiences. So I was like fantasizing about him and, swung over to his house afterwards. We had some amazing sex.
How amazing was it?
He did this position where he flipped me upside down and we were giving each other oral. Flipped me upside down.
That goes to show that good dick ain't good for you.
Flipped me upside down. He flipped me upside down and we had some good ass oral sex. And so after that, we just hung out the whole night. I spent the night. We caught up on each other's lives and, everything was perfect. The next morning, I woke up with cottage cheese.
It was instant. No, it was instantly.
It was instant.
Shut the fuck up.
It was instant. It was instant cottage cheese.
Can that happen?
I'm not sure.
I mean, we have a doctor here.
Yes,
we have a special guest.
We do.
We have a special guest.
We do.
We have a little thing where we call Pass the Blunt, #PassTheBlunt. And that's when we have guests on here. And today we're passing the blunt, but she don't smoke. So she's having a little drinky drink with us because, she got licenses and shit.
Yeah.
We have Dr. Amber here. She young, she black, and she a she.
Yes.
Hi. And she a she.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Amber. I'm an OBGYN in training here in Atlanta. So I just have to read a little disclaimer before we get started. The content discussed is not intended to be suitable for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. And the opinions expressed here do not reflect those of my employer or my institution. So yeah, let's get started.
Yes.
So the cottage cheese.
Yes. So before I get into the whole cottage cheese thing, I spent some time like really exploring my body, and I got off of birth control. I started reading various books to learn like just signs and symptoms of side effects of just anything when it comes to our vaginal health. And so from there, like I'm very familiar with when I'm ovulating, when I'm getting ready to start my period, all of that. So yeah, the next day for me, it was irritated.
So I would say usually with infections, it does take a couple days, usually like 5 to 28 days for an infection to start showing symptoms in your vagina. So
yeah.
It really shouldn't be the next day, the next morning for a vaginal infection.
Okay. So from there, I kind of, I was like, maybe, because this was, familiar dick, but it's been a while. And I had only been having sex with one partner for a few months. So I just thought maybe it was like a yeast infection, like bacteria. So I just played it off. And the days went by and it got worsened. Mm-hmm. And it worsened. And so I used tea tree oil. I was trying to be like holistic and shit. And I was like Googling like, okay, cottage cheese vagina and no burning. I didn't have any sensation, like no burning sensation, like no smell. It just was cakey. And I heard something about like dipping coconut oil, tampon in the coconut oil with a couple of tea tree drops. Kind of like helps with the bacteria. And so I'm over here curing myself. And I started to feel bad. I really started to feel bad. And I felt like my previous partner was probably laughing at me like, yeah, that bitch caught an STD. She should have stayed with a real nigga. Like,
oh, wow.
I just started judging myself.
So I'm just curious, right? Did you tell like any of your friends when it happened?
Of course I told. Yeah.
How did they take it? Well, who did you tell like a close friend or just like a friend?
So I only have a couple of friends. Mm-hmm. so that ain't hard. But I pretty much told the core women in my life, which is about 3 women. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of told them at first, like, I called my sister as well. Mm-hmm. And I just called her and it was just like, I think I have a yeast, and like just seeing like if they had a yeast before and like just another way of trying to cure myself other than the coconut oil and tea tree. And like they was really, really open to like giving me advice and trying to help me out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So was that your first time having those symptoms of like thick cottage cheese type of discharge?
Yes, that was my first time ever experiencing anything like
so
this.
What was going through your mind?
I was judging myself.
Why?
Judging myself just like this damn Girlfriends episode. What was it? What was her name?
Tony. I fucking remember that episode.
Tony caught this STD. Mm-hmm. See if I can pull this shit up.
In that episode, Girlfriends actually has a lot of moments that could, you could relate to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I can only imagine because Tony, she an extra. She an extra bitch.
Extra as fuck.
She
Here
an
you go.
extra bitch.
That's how a bitch felt. That's how I felt.
But did your friends like treat you the way that they treated her?
No, because at that point I was calling it a yeast infection.
Right.
I really wasn't labeling it anything. But deep down I kind of knew like, all right, it's been 3 days. Like what's happening? And it got worse. And so, I kind of just was like, all right, I'm going to tell him. Mm-hmm. Like, this is someone that I care about, and we had, we caught up and we are both in a better place. And, you know what I'm saying? We was able to have like a really mature conversation while I was over there at his house. And so I just figured like I can go and tell him what's up. Like, hey, this is pretty much what I don't know. Like, I'm going to ask you guys first before I continue like explaining like how I went about telling him. But like, how would you, in a situation like mine's where I knew exactly, we're going to do various situations. So I knew exactly where I got it from. And like, how do you go and tell that person that you caught an STD?
So before you went to go talk to him, just to clear it up, did you just thought you had a yeast infection, but were you ever diagnosed with anything else?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let me.
I've actually went to the doctor.
Right, yeah.
After all these feelings and shit.
Yes. Oh shit. I totally skipped the whole doctor experience because it was the worst. Like I just, ever since I stopped the whole birth control thing, like I just thought that I would be able to take care of myself moving forward. I'm just admit, like I think I have anxiety around going to the doctor and hearing them say that I have something wrong with me. And so I think that's why I prolonged it and waited a whole week until I decided to go to the doctor to see what was going on with me. And when I went, everything was kind of, everything was cool. And at the end of it, she just kind of let me know like, hey, well, actually, it's like a couple of days or something. And so I got a phone call and she said my test results came back positive for trichomoniasis.
Wow.
Trichomoniasis. And I was like, I didn't give a fuck what that shit was about. Like I didn't ask her any questions. I didn't care. I just wanted the pill. I wanted to get
it out of
I wanted it out of it. Yeah. And so yeah. And so I did that, and then once I realized what it was kind of like, all right, I want to tell him.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you want to talk about like how would I tell a partner that I had got an STD or something, or how's the best way to communicate that?
Yeah. Anyway, either as a doctor or as a human.
Okay.
Both. You could do both. We could do both. We have you here for both.
Yeah.
So like for my patients, I always just tell them it's important that you let the partner know that you have an infection, that you have an STD or a sexually transmitted disease or infection, because you don't want them, continuously giving the infection to you if you continue to have sex with them, or also spreading the infection to other people. So if this is a person that you're not like exclusively having sex with, I feel like the conversation is different, and it's more based around let's get treated versus like I blame you for giving this to me. Yeah. So I would just, like to keep it as, hey, I went to the doctor. They told me that I have trichomoniasis.
Oh, I was saying it completely wrong. Wait. Bitch been calling it trichomoniasis.
Bitch, I thought it was trichomoniasis. I didn't even know how to say that. I said trick.
Yes.
So
trick daddy.
Yes.
So we like to call it trick.
I just got it.
We like to call it trick for fun, at least I do. So
what is that trick? So pronounce it again.
So there's Trichomonas, which is the actual parasite bug that's causing the infection. And the infection is called trichomoniasis.
Okay.
That's the one.
So you can just call it trick.
So I got both.
Well, you
had
yes.
the thing causing the infection is called Trichomonas vaginalis. It's like the name of the scientific name for the bug. But trichomoniasis is the infection. So you had trichomoniasis. Huh. Yeah.
I'm like relieved for you. I'm relieved for you. I'm like, oh my God. Cause like that bug, I think of what's that shit? Crabs. It's like a crab's inside your vagina. But you didn't have crabs inside your vagina.
No
I
crabs.
had a bacteria.
Yes, a parasite.
So your thing is, rather than making it be like, well, you gave me this, nigga, you say, let's go get tested.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say. I
How
mean,
would you do it?
nigga, you gave me this.
Yes.
That's how I'm saying it, because
Okay.
I'm mad at you. See, that's the thing. I'm a hothead. I don't. I'm a hothead.
Yeah.
I'm a hothead. So that's just it. Like I would go up to
So you're instantly like pointing the finger at
the person.
Yeah.
Because I know me as a woman. I know my body, and I know who I give my body to. So if I'm giving my body to you, I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
Usually I'm not, fucking around with mad people. If I'm fucking around with mad people, I'm telling you, I'm communicating it with you. But if I say I'm only with you, I'm really only with you, even if we're exclusive or not. So if I come back from the doctor and something's going on, I'm really in touch with my body. So if something's happening, I know your dick did something to me. And what did your dick do? Because at this point, because I'm really into communication, I'm really into, tell me what's up, because I'm telling you what's up. So you telling me that you're not doing nothing. So instantly I'm pointing the finger and I'm upset because you lying to me.
Yeah.
I don't like liars.
Yeah. But that seems like okay, that makes sense. But in a situation where you haven't seen the person in years, like this is just kind of like a spirit of like in the moment type of experience, like.
But him as a man should have known what he was doing, that he was out there, doing his thing, I mean, honestly, okay, no, I probably wouldn't, point my finger at him as hard. I'm gonna still point my finger at him because I know it's in his direction.
Yeah.
But am I gonna be upset? I'm just gonna talk to him. I'm probably not gonna fuck with him again.
Yeah.
But that's off of, that's off of the environment of the situation. Like that's off of, honestly, I have to be in the situation to know. I have to be in the situation, in that particular situation, and his reaction, my reaction, it has to be like, you right here, I'm right here, this is what's happened.
Right.
To know how I would react.
Okay.
So I agree that maybe you shouldn't, point the blame on someone because of the fact that, especially, with trick, it doesn't cause symptoms in most people, especially in men. They're completely asymptomatic, or they don't have any symptoms. They don't have any burning with urination. They don't have any discharge coming from their penis. But
they just have it easy.
Yeah.
With everything.
Exactly.
They just give good dick and STDs with it.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
So about like 30% of women do develop symptoms from it. Which would be like the vaginal discharge. That's usually like greenish, yellow.
So typically you would say that the woman who gave it to him is the one who's to blame. No.
If you wanted to blame someone, you could blame her.
Okay.
But, only 30% of women do have symptoms. So maybe she was in that other percent who didn't.
Yeah.
I have a sensitive pussy.
Yeah.
I would have put symptoms instantly, probably the next day.
And that's exactly what happened. And so I don't know. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell him. I did ask people outside of my circle and ask their opinion. And a lot of them were like, hey, if it's curable, don't tell him.
Oh,
yes.
no.
Oh, we see her face.
Curable.
I said the same shit.
They said curable, don't tell.
I don't understand that. I'm like, what? I just don't get the logic of that. Like, I just don't get the logic of that, because they still gonna pass it to other people.
Right.
Because you're not saying anything. You could just get rid of that whole apocalypse.
Yeah.
And just tell him before he passes it to everybody.
It's just selfish.
It's so
It is
selfish.
Selfishness. It's really lack of understanding, and when it comes to our sexual health and anxiety around checking in on our sexual health.
Right.
Like no one wants to hear that they're going to die if that's the, you know what I'm saying, like if that's the results that come back.
But that's
no one wants to
something
hear that.
That's something that you can't die from. So it's like,
Yeah, but like you go to the doctor and think like the worst.
okay.
I don't know. Maybe I
feel
go
like
to-
a lot
Yeah,
of
of course
people
you
do.
do. No,
Yeah.
I do. Whenever I get tested, I'm like, oh my God, please God, don't let me have no HIV.
But they can find anything,
Like, I go-
cancer, like anything. I know several people that have went to the doctor for the simplest thing and came back with like the worst thing, and it just mentally fucked them up.
I'm not really too afraid of death though. That's the thing. If I go to the doctor and find out I have cancer, I'm just gonna live my best life. I'm just gonna live as holistically as I possibly can. If I could get rid of the cancer with, you know, my fruits and vegetables and all my nice herbs, hey, I get rid of it. But I'm not putting no, you know, chemo in my body, get rid of that shit. Nah, I'm gonna live my best life and eat my fruits and vegetables. If I die, I die.
I feel
You know, like, hey, God did this for a reason. It's time for me to live my best life in another, wherever I'm supposed to go. So it's like, if I go to the doctor, I just don't want to. The thing is, I'd rather find out I have cancer than find out I have an uncurable STD.
Wow.
What?
That
Why
I
is
just
that?
thought about that.
What?
I just thought about that. No,
Wow.
for real.
Why is
That's a
that?
whole
Why is
nother
that? Yeah.
conversation. That's very deep.
I'm so
Yeah.
serious. I'd rather find out because I like to fuck freely. Real talk. I would die for some sex. I would die for some dick or for some pussy. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I would like, because with cancer, it could be curable. You can't pass it to nobody else. That's me. It's mine. It's whatever. But if like I said, I would live my best life rather than put poison in me.
Right.
That, you know, I would rather, you know, fucking have a good time and live my last days of having cancer fucking having a good time with my family, going back to fucking.
Yeah.
And again, if I die, I die. So yeah, I would rather that.
Well, because the sex was so good, like that's how I was thinking, like I want to have it again. Like even though I caught the STD, like I thought to myself, like I want to have this experience again. So hearing people come in and telling me like, nah, if it's curable, like don't tell them. I'm like, well, I actually want to continue this. So
I think that's fair.
yeah, and it's the right thing to do.
But
But what?
We didn't even go over the whole situation of you
Telling
him. But I think we have a clip of girlfriends too. I think Tony told her man, and I think.
Well, yeah, she did tell him, but then I want to get. Oh, sorry. I want to get into like what I ended up telling him before I play this girlfriend's clip.
Go ahead.
So I went to him in person and just kind of told him like, hey, I went to the doctor and my test results came back positive for
Trick.
Trick. Okay.
Okay. You gonna say Trick?
For Trick.
Because his name Trick Daddy.
Yes. Trick Zaddy.
Trick Daddy.
And I was like, I just, you know, I think that you should get tested as well. I'm not sure, you know, if you got it or not, but I would like for us to continue our sexual experiences. So like, you know, like I can go with you. I offered that suggestion of me going with him or like, you know, him sharing the results. Cause it's like, we all like to see receipts, right? And so I asked for that as well. And he got mad. This nigga, he got mad.
Wow.
Trick Zaddy got mad. He got mad. He blamed me. He was like, I'm good. I just got back out of prison. And yeah.
This nigga fucking said, no, he said some dumb shit. He said, and I had to call my jail niggas to find out too. I have niggas that be in and out of jail. I had to call that nigga. I even called him. I texted him and asked him. That nigga called me. Was like, what the fuck is you talking about? He said, I just got checked by the parole officer.
Yeah. I told him this story.
For Trick?
Yeah.
For Trick.
He said he got an STD
he said, I just got
screening
tested by
from his probation officer.
And then that's when I called my niggas in jail and said, do you get tested by your parole officer?
For
that
STDs.
nigga called me and said, what are you talking about? I'm like, do you? He was like, no. He was like, nah, what nigga is fucking telling you that dumb shit? He told me don't fuck him. He said don't fuck him. He lying. He lying. So, I mean, from your experience, do you think that parole officers give STDs?
I definitely do not think that a parole officer would give STD screening. But also, even if they did, they would not test for trick because no one is routinely tested for that, especially men are not.
What does that mean?
So, like, say as a woman, you go to your OBGYN and you ask for STD testing. Mm-hmm. They're going to test you for things like HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, maybe herpes, but because herpes is so prevalent now, they might not even do that. They'll probably do type 2, but definitely won't do herpes type 1. They would test a woman for trick if they ask for total STD testing. But for a man, they're definitely not going to test for any trick.
So he's just all the way lying.
Yeah, and he probably just doesn't know.
Yeah.
But like,
so
if somebody tells you, this is my thing. If somebody tells you, I had this, you ate my pussy, we fucked raw, you should go get tested. You would go get tested.
Yeah.
He's refusing to go get tested.
Yeah.
So clearly, I'm sorry. I don't think he knew, and he just didn't. He probably had the same reaction with the last bitch.
He definitely knew, and it reminded me of why we stopped talking in the first place. But I'm back to I want to ask a quick question off of the routinely check-in with trick. So what do you recommend for men to do? Like, are they supposed to go to the doctor and say, hey, I want to get tested for a trick?
Yeah, that's basically what they would have to do. And some providers or doctors or nurse practitioners, whatever, nurses, they might just give you the treatment. They might just give the man the treatment versus testing them for it.
But what do you think that does to your body? Rather, does that, because I'm sorry, me as a person who I don't like medication too much, so I wouldn't want to take something that I shouldn't have to take.
Well, then as a patient, I feel like, it's your decision on what you want to do. So then if someone were to tell you, well, I could just give you the treatment for it, which is Flagyl or metronidazole, one-time dose. But if you didn't want to take any medication, then you could just say, test me for it first. And they could test it through urine, or they could test it through a swab in your vagina or penis.
They still do that. They still put it in your penis.
Yeah, they would rather do it through urine though. It's a lot easier because that's kind of painful.
Yeah.
And then for women, they can actually diagnose it through looking under the microscope. Probably, for men too, but I'm an OB, so that's what I mainly do.
Yeah.
By taking a swab of the discharge and looking at it under the microscope, and you can see these little bugs moving around, and then that's how you can be diagnosed too. So there's a couple ways.
There was bugs.
That's so scary.
Bugs moving around.
Oh, shut up. Shut it up.
But wait. My story all fucked up because I also caught a UTI.
Okay.
I caught two things. I caught trick and I caught a UTI.
I feel like UTI just come with everything.
I never had a
London,
UTI.
I agree. Let's not say you caught a UTI.
I feel like it just come with everything. With medication. Come with
because it's not sexually transmitted, but it can be sexually associated. Meaning if you have vigorous, intense sex.
Just having rough sex.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I like me a rough session.
Oh my gosh, because he flipped me upside down.
Shut the fuck up.
That's how I caught the UTI.
Right.
So because UTIs
are doing that position again. Okay, go ahead.
You should still do it.
You just start off with it.
You should still do the position.
Start off with it. You could just start off with it, just not with him. Just not with that nigga.
So you should still do the position, but I will say To prevent UTIs, I always tell my patients to pee after sex. You have to pee after
I love
sex.
peeing after sex.
You can't be like,
It's like a little mini orgasm after. I feel like it is. That pee after sex, I'm sorry.
It really is.
It's like,
It's
I
hot,
agree.
Like you peed in the pool.
What?
It is hot. I've experienced that before.
Yeah, like
it's like, and then you just
pool.
peeing. It's just like it's like you have a mini orgasm over the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
Ladies, pee after you have sex.
You have to
Yes.
pee. You can't just lay in the bed and stare at him or whatever
Or
and
go
fall
to
asleep.
sleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, especially when you've been drinking and smoking
Yes.
with the sex. Sometimes people just want to go to sleep, but you have to get up and pee after sex. And I will tell people, make sure your man tells you to get up and go pee after sex. Like, Future even has a line in one of his songs that says, "Made her go pee."
Ooh,
Like,
that's a good man.
yes.
That's a good man.
Ooh.
Wow. So
What about the guys? Do the guys have to pee after?
So no, and
Damn, they don't
let me
have to
tell
do
you this.
making me so mad?
Damn, slinging dick.
Just fucking, sucking, and sleeping. Like they just having a good time.
Oh man.
Women's urethra or your pee hole is only like 4 centimeters long. It's very short. The men, you know, they have the whole pee hole throughout their whole penis. So you know how long that is basically. So another reason why we can get them easier is because our butthole is close to our pee hole. So anytime that you're having anal and vaginal at the same time, or putting fingers in the anus and then in the vagina and mixing all of that, you're at risk for a
we
UTI.
did all of that.
So do you think that's why guys put the thumb in only when they hitting it from the back? You think they
Yes.
subconsciously know? Like, let me not
Them
put this
niggas
thumb.
don't know.
Listen, you can't
They
put
got
the
that
thumb
shit
in your
from,
pussy.
Who said that? Put the thumb in the butt in.
I don't know. What
That,
the fuck
that
were you
someone did
talking
say that.
about?
I think that was Future. He said, I put my thumb
He
in her
just
butt.
giving all these niggas free game. Just giving all these niggas free game. Like, listen.
He's so
I'm
futuristic.
right. Listen, you don't want to give your girl any type of UTI. Put the thumb in her asshole. It
Yeah.
was Future.
It
You
was.
damn right. And then what's the other thing he said?
He said, made her go pee. This is like from his
He's
last
taking
album.
care of his pussy.
He is.
He's taking care of his pussy.
Yeah. So, and then also aside from sex, of course, like hygiene, like wiping incorrectly can give you a UTI also.
Yeah.
I
Back
think
to
it was
front.
the
No,
flip-
front to back.
You want to do
Front to back. Not back to front.
Right,
Front
yeah.
to back.
Front to back.
Front to back.
Front to back.
Front to back.
I think it was a mix of all of that. We definitely did anal and vaginal play. We did the flip thing. We had unprotected sex.
Yeah.
I don't remember peeing afterwards.
Never.
I was fucked
You
up.
just- That's some bad dick.
I
Like,
was fucked up. I was fucked up. But at least I didn't blame him like Tony. Let me play this second clip.
Are you sleeping with her? What? Look, Greg, I have chlamydia.
Oh my God, Tony, you okay?
Fine. No, I'm not. I need to find out where I got it.
Oh, you think I'm cheating on you? No, Tony, this woman I'm meeting happens to be a drug dealer, okay? And she may want my work when I didn't show.
She's such a fucking liar.
Did you hear what I said? I have chlamydia.
Sorry, I didn't even know I had it. But I swear, I haven't been with anybody since we got back together. You know I would never do anything to hurt you.
I know that, Greg, but we stopped using condoms. And the doctor said that it might be lying dormant in you. We need to
This.
get it checked.
I will.
So what does she mean by that?
So when she
Dormant.
says, yeah, it might be dormant in him,
Yeah.
is that you can get an STD and say that it doesn't cause any symptoms for the man, and it can just be there like in his system, and at some point it can, you know, basically, I guess, start to cause problems or start to infect other people. So yeah, there's a lot of there's some studies that have been done that show that STDs can be dormant, and herpes is definitely one of those STDs that has been proven to be dormant in people.
with the herpes, can you spread the herpes? Because it's a lot of things that people fucking talk shit and they say that, nah, I got herpes, but I don't have an outbreak.
Yeah.
I can't pass it. Is that true?
That is not true.
There it is, right there.
If you have herpes,
it's a lie.
If you have herpes
Whole
type
lie.
1 or type 2, you can spread it at any time.
Both herpes.
Yeah, and when I mean like type 1 is like the oral one that's in your mouth, and type 2 is the one that's on your penis or in your vagina. And you can, if someone has type 1 in their mouth and they give someone oral sex, they can give them herpes too. So you can really spread it like at any time.
So even when you don't have an outbreak in
Yeah.
your mouth?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's scary. So you could just be spreading herpes from kissing.
Mm-hmm.
I think didn't that happen at like the Mac store? Someone had tried on that lipstick and caught herpes.
Oh, wow. I haven't
I
heard
think I
that.
read that.
That's why, I do not.
But you know what? I was thinking about it like, I was like, okay, what are some STDs that you can only get from oral? Because we all have unprotected oral, right?
Yeah.
We all have unprotected oral. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not sucking a dick with a condom
So
on.
kissing, we can get herpes.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
oral, we can get herpes.
That's why I went on that date and I said dick. Dick. I'm thinking about dick. That's why I went on that date and shook that nigga's hand. I swear to God.
Can you get it from like
I shook that
outbreaks on like sores on hands, or is that a stick?
Herpes?
Yeah.
Well, herpes shouldn't be on your hands.
It shouldn't be on your hands. That's why
It's
I
just
shook
in
that
your
nigga's
mouth
hands.
and on your
Okay.
genitals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So shake niggas' hands after dates.
Okay.
So what are the STDs?
So technically, you can get anything
I'm taking
from
notes.
oral. You can contact any diseases, mostly all of them from oral. Definitely chlamydia and gonorrhea. And these are kind of spread the same way. And that would be if someone had like a throat chlamydia or gonorrhea infection and then they gave someone oral sex.
Oh.
Yeah, so because those do exist, having those like throat infections. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what? That's what the old people back in the day was talking about, why they don't suck dick. Because you could get a throat infection. My mother was not lying.
Well, then that's why DJ Khaled don't do it.
That's his wife. That's his wife.
So people cheat every day, B.
Would I cheat on DJ Khaled? He is saying she's good, but she is good. Would I cheat for just head?
Cheated.
Would I cheat for just head?
I'm cheating.
Fat
for
niggas got
head.
good dick.
I'm cheating.
I
for
feel like head is important. I would cheat for head.
Important.
but not
I
if
would
we
cheat- I would cheat for some head.
not strapping it up. Get the strap when we having oral sex. If we can catch chlamydia and herpes,
Yeah.
and gonorrhea.
You can definitely also catch syphilis, and then the herpes that we talked about. So trichomonas, like we were talking about earlier, that's been less likely associated with transmission through oral sex, but there's been like a few reports. So it is not really associated with it.
Okay.
And also HPV, or human papillomavirus, which is the most common sexually transmitted disease. There's been like a few reports about oral transmission, but it's not very common. So really all of them except for HPV and trick.
So we should be having protected oral sex, sounds like.
Yes. And definitely
Have you ever
HIV.
had
I
it-
didn't mention HIV, but of course HIV.
Yeah. But have you guys ever given oral and received oral sex with
Nah.
with condoms?
With the
With
condom.
Nah.
protection?
You know, I have given oral sex with a condom before, but it was more so like just for fun, for experimentation, because it was like a flavored condom. So
Okay.
it wasn't intentional, like
what flavor? What flavor was you over there sucking, Amber? Dr. Amber. Let me correct your name.
Watermelon.
Watermelon. It was watermelon?
I actually don't remember what it was.
Looking at her like.
That was a while ago when I was experimenting with stuff like that.
Okay.
But
Have you guys ever did Pop Rocks?
I did. He
no.
loved it. He was like, get those all the time. Where you got them? We going to Romantic Depot. That's in the Bronx. So he was like, we going to Romantic Depot. He said, get them Pop Rocks.
What does it feel like? like?
He said it's just some tingling shit on his dick. He loved it. He loved it.
I've never heard of that before.
What about food and candy causing any type of STDs? Is that a thing?
So
That's a
that
good
wouldn't cause an STD, but that could cause some type of vaginitis or vaginal infection, you know, like a yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis in a woman.
So, like, if you already lick it off his dick and you put his dick inside of you, like, would that cause problems?
I think it just depends on how sensitive your vagina is.
Or how well you suck it off. Honestly. It's either or. Either or. Oh my God. Wait, so like I've heard that using coconut oil as a lubricant is better. Is that true? Or would you know? That just popped in my head. You know, I'm high.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having epiphanies and shit.
I have not, heard about that before.
But what would you think as a black woman? Because, you got dreads and shit. I know you like your coconut oil.
Yeah, I'll put it in my hair.
Shea butter.
Right?
So I would say that's also something that depends on how sensitive your vagina is, because that could cause some type of vaginal infection. Just because anytime the pH in your vagina is thrown off, it can cause other bacteria to grow that aren't good for your vagina.
Yeah.
So using coconut oil or anything else up there, and then if you get a yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis after, it's most likely from that. You using anything like new inside of your vagina. I really just like to tell people, don't put anything inside of there. Like when you're bathing, don't even like put soap inside of there. Just like have a warm wet rag that doesn't have anything on it, just to clean your vagina. Because some people's vaginas are really sensitive. Like mine is very sensitive.
Mine is too.
Yeah.
I usually don't even use. I just use my fingers.
Uh-huh.
And then I put the rag in a little bit, and then. She's very sensitive. She
Yeah.
can't deal with too much.
Yeah.
And she can clean herself. She has a self-cleansing system.
You know, she does. Okay. She takes real good. She takes real good care of herself.
Yeah. I actually been good since I've gotten cured from the trick. So
Good.
I'm back to healthy.
Good.
Have you guys ever caught an STD?
I have when I was 19. I did.
What did you catch?
It was chlamydia. It was, but you know what? I took the L. I took the L. But like thinking back afterwards, I'm like, wait a minute. This nigga broke up with me to go fuck another bitch. And then but then you said chlamydia could come from head. And then I gave the guy head. But me and my guy, we was fucking without a condom from the beginning till after right after we broke up. He was having sex with this girl. So but I took the L because I was like, you know what? I was fucking this dude I wasn't supposed to be fucking. And I took the L. But that's when I became very like, conscious of my sexual health.
Good.
I was like, nah, we not fucking without a condom.
Yeah.
And, every now and then, I became, I got into another relationship. I was in a relationship for 2 years. And then after that, I was in a relationship with a woman for 2 years. So, I recently, slipped up and shit. I recently slipped up with, this person that I, recently started. I'm stuttering and shit because it was dick I wasn't supposed to be having.
Oh, okay.
But I recently had a slip up, and it led to a lot of questions, and because things just sped up fast. It was unexpected. It was more off of feelings for one another. I guess I know that was on my part. I'm not gonna speak for him, but I'm hoping,
Yeah.
But it was just right. But it was more of a feelings that it was just like condom or not. Nigga was rubbing his dick on me. I was just like, all right, fuck it. Then afterwards, I really was thinking to myself. I was like, yo, I really just did that. Like I have a lot going on for myself, right now, and I can't be having slip-ups with no STDs or with no babies or nothing. So I like started doing mad research. You know, I'm Aquarius, so I research every fucking thing. And when I just go into thought of everything. So I started looking up like the 90-day rule and shit. And then I was like, why did the 90-day rule really like come about? You feel me? And it was just a lot of women talking about their feelings. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I want to protect my heart, you know, because she's fragile.
Yeah.
So, but nothing ever came up about STD testing. None of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nowhere. No woman spoke about it. Nobody with their reviews.
But I got a question from the beginning of your story. You said that you had like things kind of, you know, went by and you and the guy that you're stuttering over had unprotected sex. Like, what made you decide that? Because for me, like, from my experiences, people have looked at me and my lifestyle and how I eat and just how I live like a holistic, natural type of thing. And so they just trust me to have unprotected sex with me.
know.
So
And
like, what made you do that with him?
Okay, with him, I don't know. It was just not often. You know, I'm not out here dating or nothing. I'm not out here looking for nothing. I'm just, you know, hustling. And then I met him, and then it was just like, wow, like I like talking to you. Like I actually like your company. I felt like I knew him, type of shit. So it was like, after like we was going at it like animals from the jump. Like we used condoms from the beginning. You know, we used it from the beginning, but like just one day it was just, I don't know, like I felt comfortable with him, very comfortable. And that's exactly what it is. It just came to me. I felt real comfortable with him. And you know, we get those feelings. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to be in a relationship with this dude or nothing, but we get those feelings when we are in a relationship. Like, we're like, I'm comfortable with you. If I feel comfortable with you, I could trust you. If I could trust you with my mind, I could trust you with my body, type of thing.
Is that the same for you though, Amber? Dr. Amber?
Yeah, I think for me, anytime I've had unprotected sex with someone, it is about comfort level, and you know, thinking that, you know, they probably don't have anything, or, you know, they have like a good health record. They don't have anything on their dick, you know, but
you can't. Like, some shit like that. Like, you can't. I love you already.
But it's just not true, because you never know.
Never know. You never know. And it's the same thing when you fall for familiar dick. It's like, I loved you once. You ain't have it when I was with you.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, of course you're not going to have it when I want to fuck you again. That's my dick. I'm just revisiting. I'm just revisiting.
That's real. That's some real shit. So you were getting ready to go into the 90-day rule when it what did you mean by that?
So with the 90-day rule, nobody was talking about STDs. I'm like, yo, it usually this is a question for you. When with certain STDs, it usually takes, like, if it is to take time for it to come into your body, it takes like 90 days. Usually, like,
well, it would usually be like a month.
A month. Well,
now with HIV, that one could take longer than a month. Just because when it first shows up, it makes people feel like they have a cold that just won't go away. So most people wouldn't go get tested if they just feel like they have a cold. And then sometimes it just won't show up on the test that they do, just because there's not like enough of it to show yet.
So I get what you're saying. So with the 90-day rule, you're trying to say, like, okay, so the typical 90-day rule is usually abstaining from sex. But
abstaining from sex.
What else?
You abstain from sex. Typically, you abstain from sex so you can make sure that this dude doesn't hit it and quit it.
Right. Make the relationship stronger.
Make the relationship
prove
stronger,
to him that he should chase me. And
like, you're exactly. You're supposed to chase me. You're supposed to, be at my beck and call. You're supposed to be my savior.
Yeah.
You know, fix
It's
my
kinda
car
like
when I
a-
ask you to type shit. Like, nah, it wasn't about no. And also get tested. Yeah, you could do all that shit. Like, I don't care about all that shit. Just don't lie to me. Don't break my heart. And make sure your dick is not broken.
Yeah.
That's it. It was none of that. And I was like, yo, I'm about to take this pussy away from this nigga. But I didn't agree to a full 90 days, though. Like, but it's pushing on it, though.
Yeah.
I'm going, it may go over if I feel like it, whatever. But I'm like, yo, I'm going to take this pussy away from him. I'm going to get tested right after, you know, after this whole situation. Get tested, then get tested with him after 90 days. I'm going to shoot him a text message when I'm ready to give this pussy to him. You know, like, you I'm ready, you know, text message with the papers. That's it. If he decides he don't want to get tested in between.
So people need to add that to the 90-day rule.
I think that's a good idea.
I feel like that should be the 90
Yeah.
day rule, honestly.
Yeah.
That should be the 90 day
it should be
rule.
more focused around sexual
Around
health
sexual health.
than making you love me because I withheld sex.
Nigga, a nigga's gonna love you regardless. I've gotten cuffed actually 3 times. I've gotten cuffed 3 times by giving the pussy up too quick. Because honestly, I don't just give it up to niggas.
Yeah.
But when that nigga comes around or that bitch comes around and I fuck with you mentally, I'm gonna be like, oh, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
and they're
I
like,
agree.
okay, I'm gonna take it and you're gonna live with me too. You know, it's just, it's so it doesn't, he's gonna wife you if he wants to or not. Whether you give it to him
I just
in
don't
90
think that,
days.
yeah, for me personally, I am not choosing to apply it in that way. I definitely, from this experience, it taught me a lot of, I'm choosing to understand and learn my body, but I don't know it all. And I think this is the purpose of the podcast, is to explore these avenues where we're constantly learning about our sexuality, our sexual health, just being curious. And so from here on forward, like, I am choosing to get tested at least. I don't know, like I don't know a good timeline for like every.
I would say every
you
6 months.
Every 6 months, yeah. I think I'm gonna do that because I kiss and I suck dick.
Yeah, me too. I like to suck dick, and I don't like to do it with a
The
condom.
I don't even know.
I
I mean,
don't.
I can try
I'm
it.
doing, no,
What is it
It's
about it
him.
that you don't like oral
The
sex
condom
with the
tastes
condom?
nasty.
One, I don't like a condom.
And plus,
period.
honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I really like to please my man.
Yeah.
You know, and how am I gonna please him with a condom? Yeah, I could suck his balls, but that's all he's gonna feel. I want him to feel his tongue.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm eating pussy, I want you to feel this tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want, and plus I want to taste you.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I want to taste you.
Yeah.
You taste, if you with me, you taste good.
But I mean, now with this in mind, I'm trying to have those honest conversations, share those paperworks.
We're not fucking unless we get tested, type shit. Like real talk.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not afraid to be like, okay, you know, date was cool and all. I'm gonna send you the papers when I'm ready to fuck you. That's
I
it.
think more people should be like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the papers when I'm ready to fuck you. That's it.
Yeah.
Not, I don't. If you break my heart, ooh, whatever. You know that shit happens every day, B. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't get STDs every day, and I don't want it. You know, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And I learned that at 19 years old, off the gate. And I'm lucky it was only, you know,
That's what I'm
something
thinking.
little.
It makes me this is a big conversation because I think about my younger sister and I think about my nieces and nephews and my cousins, and like I'm just now learning this and I don't know if they know.
Yeah.
And kids these days are definitely more explorative than, you know.
They wildin'. No, for real, they wildin'. I know I was wildin' as a kid. I was experimenting as a young kid. So like, do you think that parents should talk to their kids from a young age?
I do.
How young?
I would say kind of like as early as possible. one reason that I became an OBGYN is because when I was like 5 years old, my mom talked to me and my sister about sex. And, you know, not about STDs and whatever, but just about sex and what it was, so that, you know, no one else would tell us, you know, or tell us something wrong or try to touch on us. So I feel like kids should know what sex is at a very young age. And then maybe around like middle school time, maybe even like 5th grade, start talking to them about STDs and, you know, how they can get them and how to use condoms and to use them every time. It's always better to have always used a condom and you don't know how it feels unprotected, because then you'll continue to use the condom, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like more parents should. It's kind of like a conversation that a lot of people aren't comfortable with. So a lot of kids find out from their friends or on TV or whatever.
That's how I learned.
Yeah.
So before we go, we have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Some fun little questions to close out, you know. Would you rather sleep with someone who makes a sound the whole time or sleep with someone who doesn't make a sound at all?
What kind of sound?
You know, talk shit, talking, making a sound. Just maybe he makes weird groaning sounds. He just be like, the whole time. Yeah, that's the sound. That's it. He makes that sound every time, or he doesn't make a sound at all. Because that's weird. That's awkward.
Yeah.
I like sounds though.
So
I don't know how it would feel if someone was completely silent the whole time.
So you want that? So you want that sound over silence?
Yeah. Because at least I know that they're feeling it.
You sound like you wouldn't want sound.
Nigga, I talk so fucking much. You stay silent. I don't want that nasty ass sound. Nigga, I'll talk shit all night long.
I'll take the sound.
I don't want the sound. Daddy, stay quiet. I'll talk shit for you. It's all right. Okay, next question. Only sleep with people with bad breath. Accidentally burp every time you moan.
Wait, what?
Say that question again.
Only sleep with people with bad breath or accidentally burp every time you moan.
I would burp. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the burp too, nigga. You're gonna have to take these
I
burps.
can't stand a funky ass breath.
So that means I can't talk shit.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Last question. Find your parents' sex tape or have your parents find your sex tape?
Find my sex tape. My shit lit. Find mine.
I would find my parents first. I wouldn't want them to see mine.
Really? I cannot see that. I don't know. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
How her mother and father looks anxious. No, Amber, that was the wrong answer. Always show yours first.
God. I'm so dead.
No.
Oh shit.
I wasn't expecting that.
You're gonna have to see my sex tape. Wait.
It's your parents. It's your
Nah,
parents that are saying yours.
They gonna have
You'll want your dad to see yours.
how nasty I am.
No,
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen my parents have sex though. I caught them.
Ooh.
I real life caught them,
wow.
but it wasn't like full on sex. It was like foreplay. I'm playing. It was foreplay,
I think I
but
heard
it was
my
it was
dad
horrible.
masturbate.
Oh my god! Oh
It
my
sounded like
God.
keychains
This is
ringing.
so awkward. It sounded like keychains.
I think he still had his belt on or something.
Oh my god! He couldn't take his. He could. Oh my god!
It was just jingling. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening in the other room?
God. Oh my
I was so
god!
embarrassed.
crazy.
So it's like, yeah.
I understand what she's saying though. I get it. I don't. You know what? I don't know because I'm nasty. I'm a nasty bitch. I don't know if I want my parents to see that. I think my mom knows. She been saying I'm a nympho from I was like 16.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want my parents to see how nasty I am. I already see my parents have, foreplay. People walking on their parents every day.
See, my dad kept women away. Like once my mother passed away, he kind of just, didn't introduce me to women.
So you just heard him.
He
jerk
did get
off.
remarried, but we never saw like the intimacy. I think he was still dealing with the death of my mother, so we didn't really see that. So
I've never
So
seen my
may-
parents
you
have
never,
sex.
I just
but
saw
they're
the foreplay.
intimate, like
Yeah.
foreplay.
They must. I don't know.
They
I've
must,
never
I
seen
don't
them.
know. My parents didn't like each other, so they never did none of that shit in front of me. I mean, other than I was like 6 years old, so you know, it was the foreplay. I was just got the, you know, I got to see the nipple play. That's all I saw, but that was enough.
Okay.
You know what? Matter of fact, I'd rather see my parents' sex tape because I was able to deal with that as a young age. I could
Yeah.
deal with it as an adult.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't
Y'all
see how nasty
nasty.
I am. I can't. It's an accident. It's like you pick it up as an accident. That's it.
Well, I wanted to thank you, Dr. Amber, for being on the show and educating us on tricks.
Thank you. It's
Some
been fun.
education.
Yes, and the moral of this story is to
Get tested.
test it.
Get
Have-
tested.
I'm gonna try this protected oral.
Try
I'm not
I'm
it.
gonna try it.
I'm getting that nigga tested.
So that makes sense why people don't kiss during sex.
I don't kiss during sex. I mean, unless I like you, but I don't really fuck you unless I like you.
That's crazy.
But I'm not
Alright.
sending you papers unless I like you. So we kissing, we sucking, we fucking. See, it's all fun. I don't have to take nothing away from you. That's it. So yeah, you know, the moral of the story is get tested. You know, this first episode was just to let you know before all the fun, you know, before we all have fun, you know, we are conscious of our sexual health.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have fun on this show. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have lots of fun guests. You are so much fun.
Yes.
We're going to have so much fun guests, and we're going to have, you know, a lot of shit going down. But before anything, before we have fun and before y'all have fun and fuck up your lives and, you
Definitely
know,
go get tested.
go get tested. It doesn't hurt.
And not only that, but if you catch an STD, communicate that with all partners.
All partners.
All partners.
All partners. If you don't know how to do that, you know,
Call
there's an
us.
episode of Insecure. You know, just watch that
call
shit.
me, follow me. Follow the podcast.
That too.
At Blunt the Podcast, and we'll help you. We will help you.
Yes, and we will have up, you know, a couple of clinics that you guys could go to if you guys don't have insurance.
Yeah, it's a
or
good
anything,
idea.
because I know how hard it is to get, you know, checked, and that's why a lot of people don't get tested. So when you go to our website, you know, bluntthepodcas.com, you know, check it out. You know, we'll have, you know, Atlanta, New York, and whatever cities that end up following us, you know, just let us know, and then we'll post those up. So
Definitely.
follow us, you know, Blunt the Podcast,
On all social platforms.
all social platforms, baby.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.